Reading and understanding an education, health and care plan. What is an education, health and care plan? An education, health and care plan is a legal document written by the local authority that describes a child or young person's special educational needs and the help they will get to meet them. This includes health and social care needs and provision related to their SEN. Sections of an EHCP. Section A, all about me. The child or young person's views are in Section A, followed by the parent's views. For help in what to write here, please see our booklet, Writing Your Views for an Education Health Care Plan, EHCP Needs Assessment. It is important it includes the child or the young person's aspirations, what they wish to do, such as be a bus driver, vet, work in a supermarket, train horses, etc. Aspirations can change during childhood. They don't have to be realistic, but they can be used to encourage learning. There is also a My Story So Far section for a brief summary of the relevant history. Section B, Special Educational Needs. Section B must give details of your child or young person's special educational needs found during the needs assessment. You should be able to read this part and recognise your child or young person. It should describe all the things your child or young person finds difficult. All the special educational needs identified in the needs assessment must be included. Section C, Health needs relating to SEND. Health needs which relate to the child or young person's special educational needs must be recorded here, plus long-term conditions which may need managing in an educational setting. Section D, Social care needs relating to SEND. Social care needs which relate to a child or young person's special educational needs or which require provision under H1 or H2. Section E, Outcomes. The plan should contain both medium and long-term outcomes. Short-term outcomes will still be covered under SEN support. See our SEN support booklet for more information. It can be helpful to think of the relationship between needs, provision and outcome as a math sum. For example, needs, section B, plus provision, section F, equals the outcomes, section E. The SEN Code of Practice says, an outcome can be defined as the benefit or difference made to an individual as a result of an intervention. Outcomes underpin and inform the detail of the EHC plans. Outcomes will usually set out what needs to be achieved by the end of the phase or stage of education in order to enable the child or young person to progress successfully to the next phase or stage. Section F, Special Educational Provision. The special educational provision is a description of what support needs to be in place to meet the special educational needs listed in Section B. The provision should help your child or young person achieve their outcomes, Section E. Speech and language therapy is included in Section F as an educational provision because it is a key to interaction and learning. The SEN Code of Practice says, health or social care provision which educates or trains a child or young person must be treated as special educational provision and included in Section F of the EHCP. Section G, Healthcare. Section G might include therapies for chronic conditions such as physiotherapy, Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service, CAMS, for mental health disorders, medical treatments and rehabilitation services. This section should include provision linked to the learning difficulties identified in Section B and can also include unrelated healthcare provision where it would be sensible to coordinate with other services described in the plan. Section H, Social care provision for children covered by CSDPA. Section H1 must specify any service assessed as being needed for a child or young person under 18 under the Chronically Sick and Disabled Persons Act, CSDPA. For example, practical assistance at home, respite care, adaptations and any other special equipment. It should be clear how provision will help achieve outcomes and if it will be secured by a personal budget. Section H2. Any other reasonable social care provision required that is related to their SEN or to a disability. Section I. The named setting. If all the previous sections are completed correctly, then the plan will be able to identify an educational placement that will be best able to meet the needs and deliver your child or young person's educational plan. This can be a mainstream or complex needs school. For example, needs, section B, plus provision, section F, equals the named setting, section I. When you receive the draft EHCP, it will not name an educational provision, i.e. a school in section I. This is because an EHCP must be written about the child or young person's needs and not written to meet the needs of the school or setting. The school or setting will be named in the final plan. If the named school or type of provision, i.e. mainstream, that you would like to see is not named in the final plan, you have the right to appeal to tribunal. Section J. Personal budget. This is where information about any agreed personal budget would be recorded. Section K. Documents listed. A list of all the advice and information used to create the plan. What to look for in a draft EHCP. It is important that the EHCP is correct and describes your child or young person clearly. It must describe what the special educational needs of your child or young person are, what special educational provision they require to meet those needs, and what the agreed outcomes are for your child or young person. All special educational needs, provision and outcomes must be specified in an EHCP. The use of vague words should be avoided, such as regular, access to, or opportunities for. It should be clear who has to do what, when, and how often. It will not name a specific person, but should state the job role, the training needed, etc. Check basic details such as correct spelling of names, the right date of birth. Sometimes spelling and typing errors slip in. Make sure that it says everything you think is important about your child or young person. Do you recognise your child or young person? There shouldn't be any surprises. In preparing the draft, the local authority uses the information and reports that they have received as part of the needs assessment, and with the draft EHCP you will have received all the reports and evidence collected during the assessment. These will be listed in section K of the plan so you can check that you have them all. To get ready to go through your EHCP and the reports, you will need time in a quiet place, space to lay out your documents, a spare copy of all the reports and the EHCP, keep one clean copy, 2 different coloured highlighter pens, a photocopy of the draft plan. Going through the EHCP. Go through each report and in one colour highlight all your child or young person's special educational needs. Needs are the difficulties that your child has, not their diagnosis, but how the diagnosis affects their education. Look for the word need or a description of what your child or young person finds difficult. An example of a need. Pupil X has ADHD. That's the diagnosis. Pupil X finds it hard to stay focused in a noisy, busy classroom and is easily distracted. That is the special educational need. Then go through all the reports again in another colour. Highlight all the provision that the professionals have identified they need. The support that is needed to support the SEN. An example of provision. Pupil X will have a separate desk with a screen to minimise the classroom distraction. Provision must be detailed and specific and should normally be quantified. For example, type of support, amount of time, how often, delivered with what level of expertise and by who. Once you've gone through all the reports, repeat this process with the EHCP and check that all the special educational needs that you have highlighted in the professional reports evidence need to be included in section B of the EHCP. All the special educational provision that you have highlighted in the professional reports evidence needs to be included in section F of the EHCP. Every numbered section in section B of the EHCP is matched by a provision in section F. Healthcare needs will need to be written into section C. Healthcare provision will need to be written into section G. Social care needs will need to be written into section D. And social care provision will need to be written into sections H1 and H2. Any needs and provision that train or educate your child or young person count as educational needs and provision and must be in section B and F as above. For example, speech and language needs and therapy would normally be considered an educational need and provision. Bringing it all together. The key to a strong plan is accurate identification of need, section B. Specific and detailed support and provision, section F. Agreed outcomes. These should then lead to an appropriate placement in section I. How can we help? You can contact us at Norfolk SEND Partnership for further advice and support, or visit our website for other information, booklets and resources. All forms need to be returned to Norfolk County Council, SEND Operational Support Team, Professional Development Centre, Room 16, 144 Woodside Road, Norwich, NR7 9QL. You can contact us for support on 01603 704070, text us on 078 600 33614, email us at sendpartnership.iass@norfolk.gov.uk, or visit our website www.norfolksendpartnershipiass.org.